Now, you're living with Brett in Land O'Lakes.
Yeah.
When does that run out? What is the next step for you? Can you stay in Land O'Lakes forever? Do you have to keep applying for, permission to live in the U.S.? What is that process?
Actually, we're IT specialists, and we will search for job, and actually now we are in process of searching, and it will depend on the place where we find job, or if we will find remote job. So probably we will be able to choose by ourselves the place for living.
Yeah, we open to possible relocate if we will get some offer from another state. Probably we could relocate from Wisconsin to this state for a job, because we want to start earn money as fast as possible to start to help, to donate to Ukraine, because every day I get messages from people that now fighting there, and when we need this thing, and now I can help. We don't have income, and we need so we will not choose that where we want to work, in this state or another state. No, where will be good offer, with good salary, we will go there, and we will start to help Ukrainians. That's all.
Yeah.
So the plan is then to stay in America for as long as is necessary, right? And you were mentioning before too, you were living in a city of about 1 million people, and then you come to Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, population
500 in the winter, 5,000.
So a little different, right? Than what you guys are used to. You mentioned before the cultural shock of coming from Ukraine to America.
Yeah.
What's it like now? Do you feel a little more at home?
Much better. Much better than it was in the first days, because it was for us really hard to understand, firstly, English.
Oh, right.
So it's just, we could understand Ukrainian people who were speaking English, but to understand Americans who are speaking English, it was a huge challenge for us.
A little different, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people have different accents here. And
our language was terrible. We will not lie, it was terrible. And when we made first call with Brett and Chris, we didn't understand around 70% of our conversation. Just when they were laughing, we were laughing too.
Like, what?
Something funny, okay. We just like...
it was our strategy for the first time. Everyone's laughing, we will laugh too.
During the dinners and everywhere, we were trying to be on the same page.
That's usually a good strategy, I've learned, right? But Brett, I'm curious, have you picked up a little Ukrainian over the time you've been with Ivan and Yuliia?
I actually have not learned any Ukrainian.
Oh, really?
No, they communicate with me very well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And there isn't that big of a difference here as far as our communication skills and so on. I can teach them all kinds of, bad German and that kind of stuff.
Brett?
We don't get into that, but I also, I've told them a lot of different jokes and so on. We all laugh together, and they hopefully they won't be able to repeat these jokes right now.
We'll maybe save that for off camera, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you though, Ivan, because I heard before we started doing this interview here that you've become the deer whisperer up in Land O'Lakes.
He named me.
How did you become the deer whisperer?
I saw everything that is happening. It's huge contrast for us. We didn't see in our lives deer. We didn't see wolves, bears, and it's everything what's happening. And when they left us first time in this house, they said everything will be fine, But in the first night, bear came to our house. He started to knocking in our door. We had his dogs.
I think that's funny.
It's just this bear, it ruins all
bird feeders.
Yes.
He destroyed everything.
Well, I see the smiles on your faces faces, I see the hope in your eyes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I see you making some really good decisions to, make your life better. As you think back to your friends still in Ukraine or in Poland, right, who, see you on this story that you're on, and what do you have to say to them? Like, how do they make what you're doing happen?
It's just for people who are staying in Poland and other European countries or not, I would like to say that we all should continue help Ukraine. We shouldn't stop. We should remind people all over the world that since the war is still going on, and we all have to gather and do our best to help families and to help our army, because firstly we have to finish this war, and then will be another time our country will be ruined, and we should prepare to build it from scratch, like renovate our country.
Yeah, and you mentioned that now it's impossible for young men to leave Ukraine. You obviously did leave Ukraine. Do you ever think back and wish you hadn't, or would you have made decisions differently, or do you think you made the right decision?
I thought about it, and I have now. I have only one best friend in my life, and now he's in Bakhmut, and he's fighting there. Of course, I had this feeling that I need to be with him, and I need to come. But for one soldier, for one Ukrainian soldier should be around 10 people who will earn money and who will provide everything for this one soldier. And someone should earn this money. And I didn't want to be the persons that are gathering money inside of Ukraine from Ukrainians to help Ukrainians, and it's a bad thing for our economy. We knew that we need to bring money from abroad, from different countries to our economy. And because now some men and guys, Ukrainian volunteers, they are gathering money around from Ukrainians, and it makes all Ukrainians more poor people than it was, because they could spend this money on another thing. But when you're bringing money from abroad, it's another thing. You're boosting your economy. If you really want to help Ukraine, to help Ukrainians, you will try to find the way. And we found this way. We decided not to stay in Poland and just sit when the war will end. We want to find jobs, find salaries, and donate. It's the most important thing now.
You guys have been traveling and sharing your story with people across America, across Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And what has that been like for the two of you, just to kind of get your personal experience out there to the world and share it with people? And also, what has sort of been the reaction from a lot of people?
Actually, sometimes it's really hard to remember all that stuff that we cannot see our families during a long time. I haven't seen them a smaller amount of time than Ivan, but still it's hard for me, because we're very family people, and we were close. We were gathering on all holidays, a big family. And we tell to people all our stories, and usually they give this empathy, and they try to feel what we feel.
And the two of you have a story to tell. You put a face to war in 2023. And that story is an incredible one, right? It's an emotional one. There's a roller coaster in there of emotions, leaving family, leaving friends, wanting to make a better life for yourself, being forced to make decisions that you were never ready to make a couple of years ago, and then going with it. And you're doing that, and you ended up here in north central Wisconsin. And, obviously Nate and I think wish the best for you and on your travels and your endeavors, and where this journey takes you, right? Which still isn't clear yet. There's still a war going on right now. You still have family and friends back in Ukraine, and there's still a lot of news that has to come out of Ukraine. But it seems like the two of you have a pretty clear objective of what you want, and I applaud that, because you obviously know the course that you're on. Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
And just know that we're going to be continually thinking about the two of you and your friends and your family back home, and hopefully they can make it out of this, and then your country can make it out of this, and then start to rebuild. It's a long process, but I know by the end of it, when that happens, I think the world will be a much better place. And Brett and Frisk, you as well too, just opening up your home and your arms, and that your hearts too. It's incredible what you folks are doing as well, and you're changing lives, helping people out, and it's like Jeff said, it's very emotional, it's very heavy, and I'm almost trying not to tear up here over there, but
There's been a lot of tears.
yeah, I can imagine there has been, and I
But
appreciate
there's also been laughter.
And I'm sure it's been great for you as well, and I'm sure you've learned a ton.
Very, very beyond rewarding.
Yeah, and it's been incredible just sharing your story, hearing your story, and I cannot begin to thank the three of you guys enough to share this with our audience at home. In the meantime, though, we're going to take a break. We'll be back on Up North at 4.